The big launches from Google to the festive sales here in India and all your tech queries answered and a lot more on your favorite technology show. I'm your host Aayush Ailawadi and this is Tech Today. Well, if Techtember was dominated by the iPhone 15 announcement, Techtober is all about stock Android from the house of Google. The new Pixels are here on Tech Today. It's time to unbox them and let you know how AI is going to be a key feature in the new Pixel lineup. There you go, the flagship phone which is all set to give some tough competition to the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Samsung S23 Ultra, the Pixel 8 Pro. If you're a fan of stock Android and you've joined the AI revolution, this might be a worthy companion. And its younger brother, the Pixel 8. Now, both of these come with Google's new Tensor, which is a G3 chip. But with that G3 processor come a bunch of pros and cons. The pros, of course, are that you have not seen better AI tech-loaded devices in the market. This device is genuinely going to make a lot of people stand up and take notice. The cons are that, you know how they say two siblings are the, two eyes of the parent? That's not necessarily the case. A lot of the features that are available here won't be available here. They're calling it some sort of a paywall, although both devices will come with an unprecedented 7 years of software updates. Let's start off with the big boy, which happens to be the Google Pixel 8 Pro. When you hold it, it seems a lot like the previous 7 Pro, but things have changed. It's more rounded on the edges, so a lot easier to hold, just like the new iPhones, which also have that sort of improvement. The camera bump is similar, but it's now got a matte finish, not that glass finish, which honestly made the Pixel 7 Pro seem a little feeble or weak. This guy seems like a lot tougher than its previous sibling. It's a much brighter 6.7-inch Super Actua display, which means that the other grouse from last year about this device not being as bright as the other flagships, now it can go all the way up to 2,400 nits of peak brightness. I think that really answers a lot of the critics' questions. But that's not all. This particular device also comes with an adaptive refresh rate of 1 to 120 Hz, which will give you a lot more power efficiency. And for the first time ever in a Pixel or any mobile device that I have seen, you see a hardware feature. This is the camera module, if you see it. And there's a temperature sensor. Now, this temperature sensor needs to be maybe a couple of inches away from the liquid or surface that you're trying to measure. And it's not like the Apple Watch Ultra or other, temperature sensors, which give you a mean temperature over time, especially when you're sleeping. This one can actually measure the temperature of liquids. Now, one big reason that people purchase Pixel devices happens to be the camera system. So if you're talking about this triple camera setup, yes, it is a telephoto lens with 5x, but a lot of people are a little disappointed with that because, Apple of all companies has caught up with that particular lens. But in terms of what this phone can do with its computational algorithm, especially for still photos, it's absolutely mind-boggling. It's the wide camera where the big difference has come in with the Pixel 8 Pro. Because if you see last year's Pixel 7 Pro, it came with a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera, and now this particular device comes with a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Well, this time around, Google's gone big on AI, of course, and this is the flagship device where they want to showcase all the AI work they've been doing in the background. But before I get to those features, let me also tell you about the Google Pixel 8. Well, it comes in this lovely color, again with rounded edges. Now, of course, the Pixel 8 also comes with that matte finish. It does come with the same G3, but I have a feeling that this one is a little throttled compared to its elder sibling. And, rightfully so. A lot of people are complaining about it, but look, there's a huge difference in price as well. Nearly 30,000 rupees between this device and this device from the same lineup for a number of reasons. The AI features, some of them are similar, some of them will not come in this device. But if you consider that this is an upgraded camera system, it comes with a 120Hz display. It's a 6.2-inch Actua display. Not as bright and vivid as the Pixel 8 Pro, but the Pixel 8 is a lot easier to hold and much more pocketable than the Pixel 8 Pro. Now, the product team at Google will obviously talk about better low-light photography, night mode, sharper selfies, and some awesome zoom features, but a lot of tech companies are talking about these things. Google's real differentiator has always been its AI features, and there's a bunch of them. Also, this time the Pro mode on the Pro phone is an absolute treat for photography enthusiasts. You can genuinely do a lot of pro things if you know how to use this device. Now, the first big flex from Google when it comes to AI happens to be a feature called Best Take. Just like the name suggests, if you take a bunch of family portraits, for example, or where there's 3 or 4 of you posing for a moment that you cannot ever forget, but there's one person who manages to shut their eyes, the other person who's making a really weird face. What Best Take does is that it analyzes a bunch of photos of yours, then identifies using AI the best shot or the best expression, gives you 4 or 5 options for each face or each portrait in that particular shot. And I'm telling you, the results are mind-bogglingly good. I cannot believe that other companies haven't latched onto this. I hope Google does let other Android manufacturers use this feature eventually. I think it will come, maybe with the next Samsung lineup, hopefully, but this for now is exclusive to this device, the Pixel 8 lineup, and it is absolutely awesome. Now, we all remember Magic Eraser, the feature which was so popular on stock Android devices where you could take a particular object or something you didn't want in your favorite family portrait, knock it out and blend it into the scenery. What if you wanted to amp up that feature and take things to the next level? You can now do that with Magic Editor. Essentially, you can now pick any object from that photo. Perhaps, well, if your kid wasn't reaching the finish line in the race, you could pick him up from that photo, move him literally to the end, and pretend like nothing happened. All of this using artificial intelligence. Another big green tick for Google. Well, if you're a content creator like me, then you will always want good video and good audio. And for that, you'll invest in a microphone, a wireless one like this if you don't want too many wires. And I can just magnetically latch it on over here, put it onto my guest as well, connect this to one of my devices, and I get crystal clear audio. But with this particular device, there's an investment, and then you got to worry about the sound and make sure the settings are okay. The Pixel 8 Pro perhaps will mitigate this concern, and I'm guessing this is just the initial rendition. It'll get better over time. But what the Google Pixel 8 Pro can do now with AI is essentially mitigate the need for this mic with a new feature called Audio Magic Eraser. So there's 2 types of sound. There's ambient sound, the alarm going off in the corner, maybe a dog barking in the other end, and 100 other things, background music as well, which can often cause copyright issues for all of us. And then you have the sound coming through the mic, which is what we are trying to communicate to you, or one of the top guests we've had on the show is trying to speak about. Well, if you want to isolate that sound, you can now do that using AI on this device. What it does is it mitigates it or reduces the unwanted sounds to an almost 0 level, and you can almost get crystal clear sound. Now, this is an absolutely crazy feature that we have been testing on this device. Well, I can only tell you that if this gets better, well, then these companies will have to really level up their game and give us even better sound. When you're talking about AI, everyone thinks about ChatGPT or Google Bard. It's nice to see Google actually implementing this with video, with photo, and most importantly, with audio. They also have a new feature now called Pixel Call Assist, which makes sure that all that unnecessary outside noise does not go through to the other person that you are speaking to, which can be very, very helpful. We've seen a similar announcement on the iPhone 15 lineup as well, but I'd like to see how this works when I actually put a SIM inside. Okay, so it's good to see that Google has been focusing on India like other tech companies, obviously, to make sure that the Indian consumers get those devices with the rest of the world. But it's strange to see the Pixel 8 Pro in only a couple of colors. You get it in Bay and Obsidian. You get the Pixel 8 though in Hazel, Rose and Obsidian. honestly, these devices feel lovely to hold. Some of those features we will be testing extensively on Tech Today across all our multimedia platforms, so stay tuned. But in terms of price, this one, the Pixel 8 Pro, costs nearly 1,07,000 rupees. This one is nearly 76,000 rupees. So the Pixel 8 will but naturally be taking on the iPhone 15. It's a little cheaper. I'm not quite sure if this is ready to take on the iPhone 15 yet, but even though this one seems very expensive for an Android device, at over a lakh rupees, the Pixel 8 Pro, if some of those features turn out to be more game changers than gimmicks, I think is going to give some stiff competition to the 15 Pro Max. Because this one in India costs nearly, well, 1.5 lakh rupees. For 50,000 rupees or something lesser if you're getting this. And if you're a stock Android fan, also, if you're comparing it to the Samsung S23 Ultra, it's going to be another 50,000 rupees cheaper. You get a good deal on this on one of the portals in these festive sales. This one might be the reason that you switch over to stock Android. But for now, these are our initial impressions of the Pixel 8 lineup from Google.